Hi, this is Nicole from Family Locket, and today for our Research Like a Pro question and answer series, Diana Elder is talking about editing genealogy source citations. This is an excerpt from our recent Research Like a Pro monthly office hours session where members of the course pose questions and we answer them. In this one, a member of the course asked for feedback on their citations, and Diana shared some ideas for how to edit them to be more consistent and more in following with the conventions of citations following the newest Evidence Explained book, edition 4.
So we have some citations, and I went through and did some edits on them as to how I would do it, and I thought I would just explain my reasoning. So this is a web page, and we have the name of the author and then the title in quotation marks, perfect. And then the name of this website was biography. And so usually we take the name of the website and put it in italics. So we know that that is what this website's called. We don't generally take, like, this was information about the publisher. And so generally on a web page we don't put that in. We do for a book, but we don't necessarily need to do that for a web page. So I took that out, and then basically everything else was the same. So I just added biography and took out this bit of information, and hopefully that makes sense. Now we have a newspaper article online, and I went to fourth edition of Evidence Explained because I was just curious to see how Elizabeth Shaw Mills was treating newspapers, because she's changed some of the different things. And so I did a few edits here too. So we've got the title. This doesn't have an author in this article. And then we have the name of the newspaper, which is a publication. So we put it in italics. And then Elizabeth says you don't necessarily need the volume and the number of newspapers. And I agree with that. I don't usually put that in. So I took that out because we can find it from the date. The date is the important information. And then let's see, I uh, made this consistent. So we have the page and then the column just to make that consistent. And I took out the halfway down. I mean, you could leave that in there, but I thought, well, if we're trying to make this a little more concise, we maybe don't need that. That's just preference, personal preference. And then Elizabeth Shawn Mills has added imaged now for these things that we're looking at an image online. And so that's kind of the new terminology. I used to say digital image, or, we've all used different things. So I like the simplicity of just imaged. And then the same thing here. This is just newspaper archives. So I took out the by storied and just put the simple website and then the URL, and put the access within the parentheses. We always want the access date within the parentheses. So I just cleaned that up a little bit, but this was a great start. It captured all the information. And with this one, anybody could go find this easily. So I just edited this a bit so that it conformed with the latest edition, just for fun, to see how it would change it and how, what we could do. And then for the census. So again, I went to the latest in Evidence Explained for the census records, which are a little bit different. And for these early censuses where there is only their population schedule was the only one, there wasn't a slave schedule, or there isn't one of the other types of schedules, she just recommends that she doesn't include that. So usually we just use the term population schedule as we get later years where we have other kinds like agricultural or some of the other schedules. So I took that one out and just changed this to write out the word page, just because I was seeing what she did in her template, and did the term just imaged and then ancestry. And here change the italics to the web page, and then this part is not italicized, it's just regular. And here's the big change. So if you haven't looked at Evidence Explained version 4, edit or edition 4, she has now eliminated the NARA microfilm publication, which is kind of nice. We don't have to worry about that. And instead, put in the specific collection either on Ancestry or Family Search so that somebody could go straight to the collection and then find the person. So I thought that was interesting. She also says, you don't have to redo all your census citations. If you're just starting out and you are want to do it this way, you can. So again, personal choice. I just thought I would show that. And I have to tell you, an AI way of that I use to get all my templates updated. So I was one by one going through my citation templates and going and finding this collection number. And I thought, I wonder if AI can help. And I used Perplexity, which can search the internet. And I said, I want to have all my censuses citations in this format. Can you go update all, can you create all of these? And it did. It went and found every single collection was absolutely correct. I tried the same thing in ChatGPT. Every single collection was wrong. It literally made them all up. Perplexity got them right. ChatGPT did not. So that was a fun exercise, but it saved me a lot of time to have that.